All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome if you are new here. I forgot to get this where it's got to be, though. Yeah, welcome back, guys. Appreciate you waiting patiently for the intro to finish up. Hope everybody is doing well on this Thursday. Yeah, we have quite a bit to talk about. I had to make sure to get the Wolverine shirt out today, you know. Talking about Wolverine. We got some exciting news. I mean, I don't know, man. To me, it's very exciting. We have some exciting news about Wolverine, an upcoming PlayStation event, as well as, well, not necessarily news about Saros, but something that we just need to continue to remind people about. We got some new Ghost of Yotei gameplay. We have, we're going to be doing some speculation about whether or not Sony is actually going to do a showcase this month, because it's seeming more and more likely they might. They might. Went on PlayStation Direct an hour after the Yotei plates dropped and sold out. Yeah, I saw reports saying that they sold out in like a minute. Hen, you're saying Helldivers sales. Yeah, Helldivers selling well. Sony seemingly made a good decision. People are coming out in force to support Helldivers. Love to see it. Yeah, apparently Silk Song is breaking every digital storefront. Dude, it's crazy. If Silk Song is doing that, just imagine what's going to happen when GTA 6 comes out, man. That's crazy. Good for them. Good for them. That game is probably going to be a mega hit. Mega hit. We do have a super chat from New Soul. He says, "Hey, MBG, are you doing a members launch today? I want to tell you something, but more in private. And yes, they'll be super chatted, so you'll get paid." Well, luckily for you, New Soul, I was either going to do a members launch today or tomorrow. Anyway, that was on the plans, or in the plans, I should say. So we could do it today. Yeah, if you want to tune in, I don't know how long this stream's going to be, but we'll do a members lounge after today. After today's regular stream. Tarnished, what's going on? Yeah, guys, we did a members lounge earlier this week. We did some members gameplay for Death Stranding 2 where I got the platinum. You know, people have been giving out member gifts. Make sure you check to see if you are a member. If you are, go check out that extra content if you're interested. And yeah, consider becoming a member. You know, I want to ask you guys to please take a moment and hit that like button. But if you want to help support the channel, consider becoming a member, gifting memberships, dropping a super chat or a direct donation. We're totally fan funded. I can only do this because you guys make it possible. So thank you guys so much. Am I a member? Unfortunately, Diamond Gaming, no, you are not a member. Not yet, anyway. Maybe you'll get a gifted, or you can become a member if you feel inclined to do so. And you can become a member by clicking the join button, by the way. People ask me that sometimes because, you know, not everybody is completely familiar with the membership stuff and how it works on YouTube, but there's a join button. You can click that. MBG, honestly, I was extremely let down by James Bond. You think their faces look horrendous? Not impressed? I thought it looked pretty good overall. It seems like it has a decent amount of hype behind it, but not everybody's on board with it. I did see some people kind of expressing what you are, Michael, where they're not really, they're like, I'm good. When's the next MGS Delta stream? We'll probably do one next week. Or maybe Saturday. I don't know. We'll see. Sometimes I do surprise Saturday gameplay streams. I don't want to promise anything at this moment, but we will be doing one sooner rather than later. Just make sure you have notifications turned on, Dwayne. I say that, but sometimes YouTube doesn't even notify people who have notifications on. Hitman. Bro, you said it's Hitman meets Mind's Eye? No way. It's cat hair, man. Yeah, it's been a long time, dude. It's been a long time. 2021. Yeah, we got new Ghost of Wokai. Woke of Wokai. Woke, the video game. MBG finished my amoxicillin. Having real creamer in my coffee today tastes so good. And little to no pain for my tooth extraction. That's great news, Ray. I'm happy for you, man. Yeah, I've been there. I know what that's like. It's funny how when you go through something like that, all the things that you were kind of used to having, they're taken away for a little bit. And then when you get it back, you're like, oh man, I have a newfound appreciation. Did you see the next Superman movie got announced, Man of Tomorrow? I did see that, yeah. I've yet to see the new one. I haven't seen it yet. And they're already announcing the follow-up. I guess that means it succeeded. I guess that means it did well. So, good stuff. Oh yeah, that's not good, Capono. You had an infected. I had that too. I also had an infected tooth. That happened to me last year. Part of it like chipped, and I don't know. I guess the way it chipped and ended up causing an infection, and it went months and months and months where I was in pain, and I even got like a small abscess that formed, and I'm like, oh geez. So, yeah, that was pretty horrible. Not fun. Not fun. Yo, if we get God of War by the end of this month, I will scream. Well, we got a little update on God of War. Nothing crazy, but a little update from Tom Henderson. Wolverine confirmed, or is it all speculation? So, one thing that depends on how you view insiders. Like, this report is coming from Tom Henderson. Tom Henderson is extremely reliable. He's like what I would consider like an S tier leaker. And he doesn't leak that much too frequently about Sony, but when he has, he's been on the money. And he put out a report. He got in contact with a source that confirmed to him that the next Wolverine trailer is done and ready to be shown. And there is an event happening at the end of this month, and that's very likely where it's going to show up. So it depends. We don't have Sony coming out and flat out saying, like, here's the new Wolverine trailer. But Tom Henderson is incredibly reliable. So, I feel confident in saying that this is happening and it's real. Tom Henderson doesn't just, like, make stuff up. MBG, calisthenics or weightlifting? I prefer calisthenics. I do prefer weightlifting, but not powerlifting. But I like calisthenics too. Both are good. No. So, Vinino, that God of War game, the Metroidvania 2.5D God of War game, is real. Apparently, it just got internally delayed a little bit. And the rumor was it got internally delayed so they could add voice acting. But that's real. And that was supposed to be announced already. And Tom Henderson also talks about it in this report. So we'll go over that. Robert, what's up, man? So yeah, guys, before we dive into it and start talking about the topics, like I said, make sure you take a moment and hit that like button. Helps the streams out more than you know. Helps with YouTube's algorithm. If you want to help push this stream out in front of new people, that might be interested in our community, we can grow the community, get some more good people in here, some more like-minded people. Make sure you hit that like button. Yes, whiskey. Yes. Thank you for doing your job yesterday. Today will be a better day. Hopefully. So yeah, we'll talk about that, Diego. You're asking if they're going to wait 3 months before they show Wolverine. So let's go over the report here. Again, this is being reported by Insider Gaming, specifically Tom Henderson. Insider Gaming sources have revealed that Insomniac Games' Wolverine is ready to be shown off for the first time officially since the 2021 PlayStation Showcase. So for those who don't remember, although I'm sure most of you do, Wolverine was first announced at the 2021 September PlayStation Showcase. And man, that was a long time ago. Crazy. That was like not that long after the launch of the PS5. And I remember when we were watching that showcase, that really shocked me. I mean, that was like a dream come true moment It's like I love Wolverine. It's one of my favorite characters, and Insomniac is such a talented team. You know, if they're gonna do what they did with Spider-Man 2018 and do that for, um, Wolverine, that's amazing. But the report continues. According to sources who wish to remain anonymous as they couldn't talk about company plans, PlayStation is currently planning its next State of Play event towards the end of September. Now, this is also very important because, in case anybody was doubtful, because, there were people who had doubts, understandably, where it's like, well, Jeff Grubb said at the end of last month, he said that Sony's next event, whether it's a PlayStation showcase or a State of Play, he doesn't know, but they're going to have another event. It's going to be at the end of September. We now have a second extremely reliable source corroborating that. We now have Tom Henderson saying, yes, he can confirm that there is going to be a PlayStation event towards the end of September. It seems like the date hasn't actually been decided on yet, but he specifically says it's a State of Play. Now, he doesn't mention anything about a showcase, so we don't. It's hard to say. It's hard to say if he's just playing it safe, saying State of Play, or if he's definitively confirming it's a State of Play. But I'm going to speculate later in the show today why I think it could be a showcase. Am I going to be getting Chronos? I'm probably going to be waiting a little bit. I definitely got to continue to play Metal Gear. A lot of these games I'm going to end up being late to, unfortunately. So the article continues saying other sources revealed that Insomniac Games Wolverine is, quote, almost certainly, end quote. So this is what he was told, going to be at the event as the production of its next trailer has now been completed. If the game doesn't appear at State of Play, then the trailer will undoubtedly be released in the next few months, with the Game Awards being the next likely candidate. So they're throwing this in here, I think, to kind of cover themselves, because it sounds like the source that they talked to internally at Sony, they're saying that they're confirming that the Wolverine trailer is done. Like, this game is ready to be shown again, which means the game is likely coming next year. The only thing they stopped short of was confirming whether or not it's actually going to be at this show, but they're saying it's almost certainly going to be. Hold on, let me replay that.
Bro, I don't get the negativity that comes to this channel when you live stream game presentations.
Live.
PPL comparing 007 to Hitman like that a negative?
Well, to be fair, Moonshot, I went to like the PS5 subreddit after that State of Play, and one of the top, or at the time, the top post was somebody saying like the gaming community just sucks now. And it was somebody basically saying what you're saying, Moonshot, that like all they saw were like people complaining about this 007 game, and basically just saying how like it's just exhausting, that every Irfan, you're very active over there, so the post I'm talking about, right? It's basically just people being like, yeah, this is just apparently what it's like these days, where it doesn't matter what you show, there's going to be criticism. Like, people are going to get upset, people are going to nitpick, people are going to have a problem with this and that. And I think there is a difference, to be clear. I think there is a difference between somebody saying, you know what, I don't think it looks that good, I'm not really interested in it, I'm going to pass on it. There's a difference between that and I think, what you see people usually do, which is like, oh my God, this looks garbage, or this looks so weak, and, this just looks like an awful game or whatever. And it's like, I mean, maybe sometimes that's the case where it's like, yeah, this actually looks awful. But I think generally speaking, man, like Moonshot, to be honest with you, bro, like, I don't know what's going on anymore. Like, I mean that sincerely.
Those Hitman games are phenomenal lol. 007 looks amazing. The IO team handling James Bond is like a partnership from heaven. I'm ready for the sequel. Smiley face emoji.
Dude, well, that's the thing. I was saying after the State of Play yesterday, I was like, this looks like a combination between, or a crossover between, Hitman and Uncharted. And that's pretty cool. Like, at least to me. Like, I don't know if this is going to be like a 10 out of 10 masterpiece game, but it looks fun. To me, it looks fun. And it looks like they got a lot of, they got a lot of things right, seemingly, with what they're trying to go for here. But Moonshot, what I was... Dude, get away from that, man. Why do you do that? This cat, bro. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on anymore. And to be honest, I'm just done trying to figure it out, Moonshot. People are just more whiny and miserable than they've ever been. And I'm not saying I'm not whiny and miserable myself sometimes, but I mean, it's just like, it's like incessant, you know? Like, it doesn't stop. And it's a guarantee that like, even right now, I'm seeing people crying, not in my chat, luckily, but it just generally speaking, I'm seeing people cry about Wolverine because we're hearing it's going to show up, and I'm just seeing people cry about it, and it's like, what? I don't care anymore. Like, I just don't care, because it's becoming clear that, like, there's just, unfortunately, there's a very loud, very, I don't know, I don't want to say large, but there's enough of them. There's just a loud group of people that they'll never be happy. They're not, like, video games don't make them happy. They're just miserable. And it doesn't matter what you show them. They're going to find a major flaw. They're going to find something critically wrong with it to tell you and to tell everybody around them why it's going to be shit and why they're not excited and why they're not looking forward to it. And it's just like, I don't know, man. There is a difference between having a critical eye and voicing constructive criticism or concerns and being that. And more people these days are just like, you know what? It's just going to be shit. Just going to be shit. Trash, dumpster juice, you know? Like, that's what it is. It's like, okay, bro. Like, okay. Anyway, you know, it's like, it really feels like that. It really feels like, anyway, back to what we were excited about or interested in. So, Moonshot, I guess I'm just trying to say, I totally understand where you're coming from, bro. It's exhausting. It's very exhausting. It seems like a very, very large part of the gaming community and a very large part of society, unfortunately, is just living in, I don't know, man. They're living in just pure misery, you know? And misery loves company. So, what I tell people, or what I will continue to tell people, is if you think a game looks good, then who gives a shit what anybody else thinks? If you want to play a game because you like the trailer or you like the gameplay or just what it doesn't, you don't. I've went on this little tangent before. I'm not going to go on a tangent again, but I said previously that, like, no one has to justify. You don't have to justify what you like and what you're playing to anybody. You don't have to justify anything, you know? And I think that the internet is very good, especially if you're partaking in conversations on the internet with other people. People on the internet are very good at making it seem like you have to justify it. You have to explain yourself. And it's like, no, you don't. You don't have to explain shit to anybody. Do you. Do what you want. And do it happily, you know? In terms of, like, you know, what games you're looking to enjoy and play. So, Moonshot, thank you for the direct donations, buddy. Almost got me going on a tangent there already. Matt York says, yeah, basically their lives suck and they don't want anyone else to be excited or happy either. And they spread negativity. Yeah. It's all too common. It's all too common. We all know that gaming is voluntary, right? Wait, what? You mean we don't have to game if we don't want to? What are you talking about? Voluntary? MBG, the other day I was talking to a guy in a comment section in a very long thread. The guy admitted to being constantly disappointed due to his lack of expectation management and YouTube rage bait influence. That's interesting, Tarnished. It's interesting anecdotal evidence, perhaps, of yeah, that is a very common thing. Um, I mean, I find myself disappointed sometimes as well, and I do think it is because my expectations. I think my expectations going into this generation were too high. You know, I think they were too high, generally speaking. Um, but a lot of what I was expecting actually it was met. And in some rare instances surpassed. In other areas, the disappointment was definitely there and it was real. And that's what's interesting, Tarnish, is I just think that, like, generally speaking, when you look across the games industry, when you look across the gaming landscape, it is safe to say that it's a mixed bag. That it's not just one way. I see people, they talk about the industry where it's like the whole industry has gone to shit. It's like, what are you talking about? No, it hasn't. Like, there are certainly aspects of this industry that have been corrupted or need vast improvement or need to be flipped completely to course correct. There are many other aspects where it's like, this is fantastic, this is wonderful, like, this is great. And there's a lot of in between where it's like, this is okay. And I just think that what you see is, it's kind of like what you mentioned here, Tarnish, like, people, they have been conditioned by YouTube, by Twitter, by Reddit, by any social media platform. They've been conditioned by these vocal minority groups that, like, no, you're not seeing things for what they really are. Let me show you. And then, if they're not cherry picking, they're being very one-sided. And I just think that it's unfortunate that so much of the conversation has been hijacked by people who only walk down a one-way street. And it's like, listen, I'm walking down this one-way street. You should be too. You should be walking down this exact same street. And if you're thinking about walking down any other street, well, you're wrong. And I'm going to now make a 20-minute video explaining to you why you're wrong by showing you all these different things and ignoring anything else around it. That's just where we are. People are very good at persuasion these days. They're very good at persuading people that, you should feel like shit about almost everything. And it sucks, man. It sucks. It's disappointing. That in and of itself is disappointing. But, I think on the flip side of that, the positive is people are enjoying themselves. People are enjoying video games. Not everything is literally in the dumpster. Not everything is a dumpster fire. There are good things going on, and there are things that people, I think, are finding exciting. And, this is why I got a little bit defensive when Metal Gear came out, because it's like, it just makes me want to check out. It really does, where it's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be involved with anything, because this is a game I'm excited to play. And frankly, unless I literally can't play it because it's running at 10 frames a second, I don't care. And I know that gets some people's, like, I know it gets some people really upset, but that's why I don't want to partake in it, because it's like, listen, man, this is going to make me happy. There's not many things in this life that really just bring out a sense of pure joy or excitement anymore, especially as I get older. This is one of them. And it's my fault, because it's like, I'm choosing to be part of the conversation and insert myself into it. But it makes me realize that, like, you have to protect yourself a little bit, like, you have to protect what you like, what you love, and what you care about. And if you're not careful and you're not protecting it, or, you're just kind of like sometimes what I do, like, you're just throwing it out there. Yeah, the internet can be a brutal place, and people will tear that shit to shreds. Absolutely. They will tear it to shreds, and they'll enjoy doing so. We have Matt York, longtime member for 43 months. Matt, thank you for that, buddy. He says, any chance on Madison VR this Halloween? Traveling a lot for work this year, so haven't busted out the VR in a long while. Dude, Matt, you are the Madison VR guy now. Every time I see you show up, I'm like, he's going to talk about Madison VR, isn't he? And I was right. I don't know. We'll see. Well, I mean, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to have to just be totally, let me just get down to it. I'm not going to lead you on, Matt. It's going to be a no. Okay, boss, what are you doing? Boss is like, I'm out. It's going to be a no, mainly because I've reached a point where I'm now accumulating a backlog of games myself. And there's no way that something like that is going to get in front of, like, I want to play Mafia. I want to play Chronos. I want to play Silent Hill F, and so all I can really say, Matt, is that maybe one day it is a possibility one day. I don't want to completely take it off the table because it sounds exciting. Sounds stressful, but exciting, Sounds very stressful, actually. And we have Delwyn Jones. Thank you so much, buddy, for the super chat. The 20-pound super chat. He says, 007 First Light looks absolutely awesome. I love the James Bond games and films as well. I can't argue that the developer and publisher that is developed and published by IO Interactive is perfect for the game. Plus, Hitman is a cool game to play. I can't wait to get it. Yeah, man. People have been saying for a long time that if there's any studio or any developer that should make a James Bond game, it should be IO Interactive. A lot of people play the Hitman games and are like, yeah, there's like something here that you can tell it would translate really well to a Bond game or 007 game. And I remember people were very stoked when it was announced that they were actually doing it. And, it's interesting because the worst thing that I saw yesterday, truthfully, and again, I'm not like a huge James Bond fan, so people who are like critiquing certain aspects of what they would expect James Bond to be like, his mannerisms and all that, I can't really speak to that too much. But to me, the only real negative that I saw from that presentation was, maybe like some frame problems or like it needs more optimization and maybe they need to tone down the motion blur a little bit. But those to me are like things that's like, yeah, dude, this game's not coming out till next year. They got plenty of time. Other than that, like the actual gameplay, the presentation, it seems like there's actually a wide array of stuff you can do, like more than I was expecting. The beginning of the demonstration when you have to kind of figure out like, how are you going to get into this place? There's many different ways you can go about it. And you have to kind of assess and you can interact with characters. And, it slows the pacing down and it's more methodical, more thoughtful. Then you have the car chase sequence. And then the combat is like a little bit more robust than I was expecting as well. So, it's one of these things where it's like I'm looking at it and I'm like, this looks, and I said it yesterday, like this looks better than I was expecting. Like I didn't really go into the stream expecting much. And I'm not a big James Bond fan by any stretch of the imagination. So I just very much was like ready to walk away from this being like, I'm good, but everything they showed, I'm like, you know what? This might be a game I'm going to end up playing actually. Like I couldn't say that prior to them showing it. Honestly, I couldn't say that prior to them showing it, where I probably was just like, I'm not a 007 fan. I'll probably pass on this one. And then they showed them like, this actually looks really fun. And I really like the melee combat. I like how you can like take on, it reminded me of Sifu just a little bit, less intricate than Sifu, obviously. But like when you're surrounded by multiple enemies and you can start grappling some and throw them around and use the environment. I was like, that's pretty sick. So, Delwyn, I'm glad to hear your hype, man. Seems like a lot of people are looking forward to it. Yeah, I mean, they definitely went for the cinematic look with the motion blur and chromatic aberration. Yeah, you can throw the guns too. That's true. There's a nice little touch there. All right, so I got like really off track, and I apologize for that. We have more people here now. We're gonna get back onto the topic of the leak for Wolverine and the upcoming event. Just do me a favor, like I said, hit that like button. We're already at 72 likes, so we could easily get to 100. But according to Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming, Wolverine is ready to be shown again. He can confirm that Sony is planning on holding a new event. He says a state of play towards the end of September. This corroborates what Jeff Grubb claimed last month when he said Sony is going to be doing either a PlayStation showcase or a state of play at the end of September. Other sources have revealed that Insomniac's Wolverine has a new trailer that's completed and ready to be shown and will almost certainly appear at this event. But if by chance it doesn't appear at this event, it should be shown before the end of the year, potentially the Game Awards. So he is saying that. And it says here, Insomniac Games' Wolverine faced some issues in development following a ransomware attack in December of 2023, during which employee information and substantial amounts of game footage leaked online. The hack resulted in some changes to the game's plans, but to the extent of these changes is currently unknown. As of the time of this writing, neither PlayStation nor Insomniac Games has revealed when Wolverine is set to be released, but fingers crossed an answer awaits us in just a few weeks. The game is currently slated to release exclusively on the PlayStation 5. Here's another really important part of this report, by the way. It says, as for what else could be at this upcoming event, it remains to be seen, but it's likely to feature Bungie's Marathon, which Sony did say that Bungie would be re-revealing Marathon and bringing Marathon back this fall. And so if they do a show at the end of September, that would be fall. He mentions a new Metroidvania God of War game. Again, this is that 2.5D side-scrolling God of War game that was supposed to be announced earlier in the year, but got pushed back a little bit. And here's another interesting tidbit, not surprising, but still, just keep it in mind. He says Insider Gaming also has it on good authority that a mainline God of War title is also in the works. I know, that's obvious. That's like, oh my God. But the thing that really kind of got me with that is like the realization that we are nearly 3 years out. It's nearly been 3 years since Ragnarok released, dude. Like, that blows my mind, where I'm like, wait, what? Like, already? Yeah, exactly. It's like, so the idea of a new God of War game being revealed, I'm not saying we should expect it, but the idea of it being revealed, sooner rather than later is actually certainly possible. And that, I don't know if he's talking about Cory Barlog's new game. When he says that they have it on good authority, a new mainline God of War game is in development, I'm assuming he's talking about Eric Williams' team. But, yeah, man. Hello, Luna. And so there's a couple of things he also doesn't mention here. Well, he mentions Phantom Blade Zero, which is a game that we're supposed to be getting a release date for, by the way. That actually is worth mentioning. The developer of Phantom Blade Zero did say that they would have a release date before the end of the year. And it's worth noting that Phantom Blade Zero was first revealed at the last PlayStation showcase. So he mentions that possibly showing up, and he mentions Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. And also the fact that if Sony does decide to do, well, they are doing a show at the end of September, that still is before Ghost of Yotei launches, so they could have one more trailer. But there's a couple of other things that leads me to speculate that we could actually be looking at a showcase here, guys. Like, I know, just let me huff the hopium for a little bit. All right, just a little bit. I am the showcase hopium guy, so please just indulge me for a minute here, if you will. Everything that was just mentioned. So, Ghost of Yotei, Marathon, right now apparently Wolverine's ready to show. Those are 3 first-party things that are like in immediate vicinity. But on top of that, Saros gameplay. It was confirmed back in February that Saros gameplay will be properly revealed in 2026. Okay? They didn't say when, but if they want to do a showcase, that would be a great time to reveal it, would it not? And they did confirm Saros is releasing next year. So we should be getting a release date when we see that gameplay. Yeah, we mentioned Phantom Blade Zero. That's not a first-party game, but it's a big game that we're supposed to be hearing about the release date, like I said. But then you also think about Intergalactic. Not just Intergalactic. You also think about how Naughty Dog is confirmed to have a second AAA game in development that's been in development for multiple years. by a second team. So we have another Naughty Dog game. We have 2 Naughty Dog games that could be shown at any time. On top of that, Santa Monica Studio, we have the God of War 2.5D game that's supposed to be coming. We have Cory Barlog's game that is apparently not a new IP, but is going to feel like a new IP. It's not a sci-fi title. That's been in the works for like 6+ years now. That can be that seems like it should be ready to be revealed at any day now, at any moment. And then apparently there's a new mainline God of War game in development. Okay. We also know about the plethora of unannounced live service games. You have Horizon Online from Guerrilla Games. You have Team LFG with Project Gummy Bears. I'm not saying you have to be excited for these games. I'm just saying these games have to be shown at some point. We have Fair Games, unfortunately, if that doesn't get canceled, but who knows what's going to happen with that. We have Dark Outlaw Games. Jason Blundell, his studio, working on a multiplayer title. He's known for Call of Duty Zombies. They've been working on something for a while, and they're now officially a first-party PlayStation studio. We don't know about any new live service games. We don't know anything about that, right? We don't know about Bluepoint. We know that Bluepoint's game and Sony Ben's games were canceled like a year and a half ago. Are they ready to, surely they spooled something else up. Are they ready to show it? Give people a renewed sense of confidence of like, here's our new project. Media Molecule has been working on a new IP. We have yet to see that revealed. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing here. If Insomniac shows up with Wolverine, there's also, I'm not saying we should expect it, but there is still so is this Venom game real or not? There have been rumors of a MotorStorm game in development. There's been rumors of that for a while. Who would be making that? I'm not sure. There is People Can Fly. They're working on Project Delta. So, the truth is, man, there's just a shit ton of stuff that, we don't know if Naughty Dog's second game is a new Uncharted. We don't know exactly. Fire Sprite, forgot about that, Ahoy Tyler. Project Awakening. Holy shit. How long has it been? I think that might be vaporware. Yeah. So Fire Sprite seemingly is working on Until Dawn 2. Don't go there, Hanzo. And so, if you just look at everything I just listed, or you think about, I should say, everything I just listed, I'm not trying to tell you we're going to get a showcase or you should expect it. I'm just trying to tell you that if Sony had enough ready to show, they could easily host a showcase. I don't know that they will. I'll be honest, I think Sony might be done with showcases because they might look at all that and say, we'll just disperse it every 3 months. Every 3 months we'll drip feed, and this month might be Wolverine. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. If what we get this month is Sony says we're doing a state of play, please tune in. It's going to be 40 minutes. And the last 10 minutes of that state of play is like, here's a proper Wolverine re-reveal, and it's going to blow your mind. I'm totally on board. I'm fine with that. I understand that people are going to be like, that's it. But I try to remind people that Sony does a show every 3 to 4 months, and they always end with first party now. That is what they do. They revealed Saros this year. They revealed Marvel. Oh, that's another game. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, by the way. That's another one that people are expecting more character reveals. Goddamn, dude. The more I think about it, it's like, it would be kind of weird if they didn't do a showcase. The more I think about it, I'm like, when are you going to show? What are we doing? I don't know, unless maybe Sony's like, we're just going to try to push as much of this to the PS6 generation as we can, but they haven't really been known to do that. Sony traditionally doesn't do it that way. If anything, Sony traditionally likes to go kind of crazy at the end of a generation. That's usually what they do. Now, we have different leadership in place, so they might have a different strategy overall, but I just, could Sony just have a state of play where they end it with a bunch of first party stuff? Of course, they could do whatever they want. And I just, I'm not trying to create a specific expectation for anybody. I'm just here to point out that originally it's, it just seemed like, okay, we're going to hear about Marathon and maybe Wolverine. Like, I don't know. I kept saying I don't even think Wolverine would show up this year. It would be great if it did. It feels like it's long overdue, but maybe that's something we see next year. Thinking we're going to see Saros, something like that. Maybe Santa Monica's new game, but it just seems like this is the time. If they don't do a showcase now, then I think it will be safe to say that they are done with showcases, except for when they reveal a new console, because there's just so many studios that they have and so many different things that I imagine are ready to show in some capacity. Santa Monica with 2 games in one show. Oh my God, dude, that'd be fucking sick. That would be sick. I don't see. It's hard. I want to get excited. I want to, but we've been down this road many times. You bet we get Wolverine reveal, Tokon as a tease, and then a proper reveal for Insomniac's Wolverine. Wait, you said a Wolverine reveal and then a proper reveal for Wolverine? Well, you know what I could see Sony doing? I could see Sony doing a state of play where it'll be a 40-minute state of play. The first 30 minutes are third-party and second-party games. And then they have 10 to 12 minutes where it's like, okay, here's a Marathon re-reveal trailer, all right, with a release date. Here's a Saros gameplay trailer, 2.5 minutes. Marathon trailer, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, re-reveal, show the release date. Saros gameplay trailer, 2.5 minutes. That's 5 minutes. And then here's like a 5-minute Wolverine trailer. That's going to show you, like, it's going to give you a good idea of what this game's going to be. I could see them doing that. That would be a fantastic state of play. But then again, it's like, well, wait, so we're not going to see Marvel Tokon? You see where I'm saying things get messy here. Things get messy because it's like, well, okay, they have to show Marvel Tokon. So they're going to show 4 first-party things in a state of play? I mean, like, when have they've never done that, ever. Like, that's just not a thing. So I don't know. I just, it seems like at minimum, there's like 4 things they're going to show. I'm not saying you're going to be stoked for every aspect of it. Like, if you're not interested in Marvel Tokon, you might not really care. Yeah, Marvel Tokon is confirmed for TGS. True. Before or after TGS? What if it starts with baby steps? Jerry Gamer's asking the right questions. Didn't baby steps get delayed because of Silk Song? Can we talk about how crazy 2026 is looking? It's looking insane. Yeah, it's looking disturbing, actually. 100% before TGS? I agree with that. Yeah. TGS kicks off on the 25th, right? Well, here's another interesting thing. Apparently, this show that Sony's doing is at the end of September. And I'm looking at the calendar, and Tuesday, the 23rd, is like the last full week of September. That's the same day that Kojima's doing the Kojima Productions event. And he did say that he will be giving glimpses of his upcoming projects. And he's talked multiple times about Fizzant already. I don't know. Like, could there be some kind of like crossover here where, I mean, I don't know. Like, Kojima Productions is very tight with Sony and Herman and PlayStation Studios in general. Dude, Whiskey Gaming, that would be crazy. That would be on my birthday. Could you imagine that? That would be on my birthday. Like, I was going to speculate that, but I'm like, that's not going to happen. Like, that's too good to be true. Could you imagine if Sony had a showcase on my birthday, bro? I mean, goddamn. That would be that'd be something. Let me tell you. I think Kojima confirmed he's not. Yeah, and it's like the worst showcase ever. Okay, yeah, I mean, worst birthday present. It'll either be one of the best birthday presents ever or the worst birthday present ever. Thanks a lot, Sony. Sony ruined my birthday, bro. 30-minute marathon state of play on your birthday. I will, dude. I would actually break out the clown wig at that point. You know, like, come on, man. There's only one person working on Fizzant, Jerry. Only one person. Damn, I bought 5 full price games this month and it's only the 4th of September. Jeez. That's what I'm saying, man. It's crazy. It's crazy out here. Between trying to find the time, like even if you have the money to buy all the games you want, do you have the time to play them? Even if you had the time, like, are you going to be able to, distribute your time playing all of them evenly enough? Like, what game's going to suffer? It's crazy. I hate it when this happens. I got to be honest. I hate when the year's like backloaded or front loaded, where it's just like, here's like 10 games in 2 weeks. It's like, why? Why, bro? But yeah, dude, I'm feeling good. I have to admit, I'm feeling good. It's hard not to, like, I'll be honest with you guys. Not that, well, I mean, I've been honest with you guys, but I think if we're all being honest with ourselves, it's safe to say that Sony is, I don't want to say they're in a rut, but they, in terms of communication and, like, let's just face it, they have, in my opinion, they have not been doing a good job at getting their fan base excited. I think that they've been delivering, which is the most important. They have games like, again, we're living in a time with PlayStation, with Sony PlayStation, where people are like, they have no games and they're literally releasing a game in a month. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's simple. Maybe that's a reflection of the fact that Sony just like kind of stopped caring about really communicating in the way that they used to. Shitting on PlayStation is cool these days. It could just be that. I think it is because Sony kind of gives this aura. They have this aura of like, yeah, we're just going to drip feed. And I think, it makes it easier for people to kind of be like, well, this sucks. It's like, well, it's not that bad. Like, come on. I mean, just compared to like the way they did things, I'm not saying they'll do it the same way, but they really, they really kind of like went crazy with the PS4 era. I don't think they had to go that crazy, but I'm just saying it seems like a good time to maybe like get people excited again. That's all. My philosophy, better to have them and can't play them rather than want to play them and don't have them. That's not a bad philosophy. Off topic, MBG, I had a dream with you and Mrs. in it. You were streaming and doing a true Eagles fan test. Oh God, okay. Made me real nervous, Michael. reading the first half of that chat. Isn't it? It's Eagles Cowboys tonight, right, Michael? Pretty sure. We're doing the true Eagles fan test. True Eagles. Wait, so like is this like an actual test you can take, Michael? Like online or something? I do wonder how I would do taking like a test. I am an Eagles fan. Yeah. The problem is I kind of stopped following football though the past couple of years. But yeah, I'll always be an Eagles fan. I grew up being a pretty hardcore Eagles fan. It was just fun to watch. Cleophas, do you think I'm from Philly? Well, do you have to be from Philly to be an Eagles fan? Jerry's like, bro, you're dreaming about MBG. What's going on, man? MBG, I had a dream with you and Mrs. MBG in it. It's like, let me just stop you there, Michael. Nah, Michael just fantasizes about us watching like an Eagles game together or something, going to the Super Bowl together. Hanzo, you had a dream about the chat? Why is that even more cursed, dude? I was dreaming about the chat. Like, what was that like? Were you in the chat? Like, literally? Like, your consciousness was in the chat? Like, physically somehow? I don't know. Lost Eyes later dream about the first Descendants. Boss, why are you holding my hand? Okay. Can I help you? Boss, I'm sorry, bro. I know you want treats, but like we haven't even gotten a single member yet, so you're just gonna have to chill out. Yeah, I couldn't escape the mods. They left me in the chat. It's probably because of what I was saying yesterday, Hanzo. I'm sorry. I accidentally gave bro a nightmare. Rich hasn't been seen since he was introduced to that stream. Yeah, Rich is probably like, well, my work here is done. My work here is done. Now we're going to question, was he ever even real? At some point, you guys are going to be informing me that, bro, we don't know how to tell you this. He was never real. It was you. It was you the whole time, MBG. I'll be like, no, this can't be true.
Raise your hand if you would have preferred to be surprised for a new Wolverine trailer instead of it being spoiled weeks in advance. Miss those days.
For a second, when I heard that voice starting to talk, I was like, uh-oh. Yeah. I mean, I can honestly say, Moonshot, that it would be more exciting. It would be. Because now I'm just going to be sitting here holding on to this for the rest of the month, being like, let's go. And then it just like doesn't show up. And I'm like, you know, like what? So whereas if we didn't know about it at all, you know, people would go in being like, yo, we're going to see Wolverine. I'll be like, probably not. Don't expect it. And then boom, Wolverine shows up. But I don't think it'll make it any less exciting. You know, I would be more surprised. And there's always something about being surprised. And like when it was first revealed, you know, like when it was first revealed and we just had no idea. It was like, holy shit, bro, what is happening? Yeah, we don't get really many of those moments anymore. But that's not to say that there couldn't be a surprise. You know, there could be a big surprise at any time with Sony. I mean, it's kind of like when we saw Intergalactic at the Game Awards. For as much crap as that game gets, it's like I did not expect that. That was quite shocking. Wasn't expecting Saros. You know, that was a nice little surprise. That didn't leak out or anything, but yeah. My hope is that nothing else gets leaked. The only thing that I would like to find out, although it doesn't really matter because we're just a couple weeks away at this point. But it would be nice to get clarification. It's like if it is going to be a state of play for sure, like yeah, it's a state of play, or if it's like no, actually I heard it's a showcase. But yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. Saros is the main game you're hyped for. Returnal's in your top 5 this gen. No, I hear you, man. I absolutely hear you. Michael says he hates leakage. Oh yeah, we got to check that out. Hold on. Boss, what the hell are you doing, man? Boss is being a freak. He's like in his cat tower cubby at the bottom, like licking the siding of it. It's like really loud. It's like it's very disturbing. What's he doing? Yeah, we're gonna bring up the Ghost gameplay in just a second here. All right. What the hell? Yo, whoa, hey, okay, come on, chill the f out. I wish I had a cat cam, man. Luna just like snuck up on him while he was doing that inside the cubby, and he just like freaked out, started swiping at her and hissing. Jeez, man. All right, before we bring that up though, we have two super chats. We have Delwyn Jones coming in with another very generous super chat, another 20-pound super chat. Thank you for that, Delwyn. He says, I'm hoping we're finally getting Wolverine. I want to see cinema. I want to see cinema, bro. Not sure if we're getting Venom as well. I'm also very interested to see if we're getting the Horizon multiplayer. I'm so intrigued. Love your t-shirt, MBG. It's a tease. Yeah, I'm hinting at it, bro. I've seen the trailer already. No, I'm just kidding. I wish. Um, yeah, as you can tell, I'm very much ready for a Wolverine trailer. Yeah, dude. There's a lot of questions I think people have about Wolverine. Like, dude, I do think Insomniac has a little bit to okay, can you stop? Stop. Insomniac has a little bit to prove with Wolverine. Not a lot, but just a little bit. And I think what they need to prove is that they can do Wolverine justice in the same way that they did Spider-Man. Now, I like some people are really down on Insomniac because of Spider-Man 2. I think it's a little unfair, if I'm being honest. I think it's a little unfair where it's like, bro, why are people acting like Insomniac is one of the worst studios in the world? Um, but I think that I I think that Insomniac knows what they're doing. I think that people lose sight of the fact that they are still one of the most talented studios in the world. And no studio is perfect. Sometimes they make some mistakes here and there. But I think when they show Wolverine, like, yeah, because it's been so long, because of the major leak that occurred, and because they had a change in director, when I say that I think they have a little something to prove. I think really it's just they have to. They have I think that they have to bring the wow factor. I enjoyed Spider-Man 2. It had some flaws. It had some aspects that I was a little bit underwhelmed with compared to the first game. I like Spider-Man 2018 better overall, but I think with a lot of people they're going into, unfortunately, they're especially because of the leaks, they're going into Wolverine being like, nah, like this is going to be disappointing. And I think that I think it's just a good time for Insomniac to kind of like bring the heat. You know what I mean? Like really bring the heat and remind people. Like remind people, you know? And sorry, boss is being so weird. He's just literally walking around here like hissing. Like he's under attack or something. I don't know. Luna's getting in his head, bro. But also you mentioned the Horizon multiplayer. I am extremely fascinated to see what that game ends up being like as well. Delwyn, I don't know that I'm like excited for it as much as, yeah, I think you used the right word. I'm intrigued by it. I think it could be good. I think it could be a very fun multiplayer game and it has potential, but I could also see it going in the other direction where it's like, oh, that's an interesting choice and I'm good. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of these things where it's like it's been in development since 2018, man. That's what's crazy. Like that is the craziest part about this Horizon multiplayer game. It's been in development since 2018. I think it probably got rebooted at some point. Where there was like a change in strategy with what they're trying to achieve with it. Boss, no, 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 no. No. Come on. Come on, boss. Boss, come on. No. Don't throw up over there. Come on, man. Oh. God damn it. Hold on, guys. I'm having a situation with boss here. Sorry, I don't. Are you good, dude? Did you? I heard him. I heard him like heaving, like he was gonna vomit, which is unusual for boss. Boss doesn't vomit. He doesn't usually have like hairballs either. So I'm trying to figure out like because he ran over to the other side of the room. I'm like, no, dude, come out here. Come out here. Do it. If you're getting a hairball out, do it out here. I wonder what's going on though. You good, dude? Are you good? You okay? Bro, he looks like freaked out. I don't know. I'm just trying to make sure he's okay, you know? Come here. Yeah, come on. All right. Sorry about that, guys. He's okay. Um, I just realized I'm like not fully on the screen. I'm sorry. Messing everything up. He's okay. He's just I think Luna's like freaking him out. Like making him panic or something. It's really weird. Cuz he's like totally fine. Except he's just like compulsively licking the cat tower here. And Luna keeps like kind of sneaking up on him and I don't know. I'm starting to think Boss has like severe cat anxiety or something. So he's good. And we have Paul Cannell coming in. I got a couple more super chats I got to read, but Paul comes in and says, "Here's a membership gift, bro."
Thank you.
I'm
Appreciate
gonna get it
it.
started today. Paul, thank you so much for that, buddy. Let me add that to the goal. I just gave him a couple treats now. Maybe his stomach's bothering him or something. I don't know. All right. Let's get back on track here. So Delwyn, thank you for the generous super chat, buddy. We also have just me and my 20 cents. He says, MBG, why haven't we seen PS5 Pro footage of Ghost of Yotei yet? I'm getting worried. The picture quality looks mid, in my honest opinion. You know, I will admit that, like, the game looks beautiful, generally speaking, but I'm noticing a little something, too, to be honest. Like, and honestly, like, with this last gameplay we saw, I noticed a little something. It's not, like, horrible or anything, but I don't know if it's, like, the compression or they're, like, something's not quite right with it, but it looks a little I don't know. I guess the best way to describe it like literally is it looks literally like a little bit rough around the edges. I don't know if it's just me. And honestly most of everything else I've seen prior, I haven't noticed it, but yeah, I don't know why they're not showing it off on the PS5 Pro. I'm going to bring it up now. Maybe I got to see it again. Hold on one sec. It doesn't look bad though. It's like but I kind of identify, at least with this latest trailer, I've identified a little bit of what people were talking about. Where the hell is it? Okay, I got it right here. Well, first we'll just watch it. But before I do that, I want to read this other super chat from Armani Pepsi Man Coleman. He says, "What's up? Can't wait for Rise of Hydra. I'm also getting First Light. I already got Ghost of Yotei." Yeah, Armani, I was thinking the other day, I was like, man, Gamescom came and went, and we didn't see anything about Rise of Hydra. I'm sorry if I overhyped you. I thought for sure we were going to see that. I thought for sure we were going to see it at Gamescom. So sorry about that. I guess the wait's going to be a little bit longer. Listen, Game Awards for sure, right? Game Awards for sure. It's got to be. And Lost Isley comes in with a super sticker, a $2 super sticker. Thank you for that, Lost Isley. Looks like a smiling fox. All right, let's check this out. Really quick, you know what it is? I think I just identified it. I think it's the blood splatter. Like when, yeah. Yeah, it's the blood splatter that's doing it. I think that's why it looks so weird to me. Because she's really messing these dudes up. Because I'm looking at everything else. Everything else looks pristine, practically. But the blood splatter looks a little weird. I don't know. It's like blobby.
Find me, boy. That's it.
Well, damn, dude, the Odachi looks pretty sick. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking around at everything else, and it all looks good. Did they say? I guess they didn't say in the beginning if it was PS5 Pro. They're not even saying PS5. So it's a little interesting. Some people were saying that they don't really like these. They don't like the gameplay snippets of the weapons that they're showing because they feel like it's making the game look way too easy. Like they're trying to go for a more cinematic look, but in doing so, it's making it look like see. I feel like something about the blood splatter looks weird. Is it just me? I don't know if it's just me. They say at the end with the release date. Let's see. Well, it just says PS5. Pre-order now on PS5. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they said anywhere in the trailer if it's running on base PS5 or... Yeah, they just say some camera angles adjusted for trailer use. Yeah, the Odachi looks cool, though, man. We're very close. We are very, very close to Ghost of Yotei. I'm stoked. The big question I have... There is a big question I have for Ghost of Yotei. And it's the big one. And it is, am I going to how is the story of Ghost of Yotei, the writing, the story, how is it going to compare to Ghost of Tsushima? Because I think it's safe to say that like the gameplay, everything about this game is a refinement. And, pretty much like if you enjoyed Ghost of Tsushima and the gameplay and the world and the way you explored it and the combat, you're going to enjoy this too. That's obvious. So, yeah, it's not a samurai story. From a gameplay perspective, it's obviously going to be something I enjoy, but I'm just really wondering how the story's going to be. What they've revealed of the story so far seems pretty good overall. It's not hooking me as much story wise as Tsushima did. Tsushima really hooked me just because I like the idea of like, I like the whole idea of like, struggling between the honor of, you know, doing your duty as a samurai and, sticking to the code versus breaking it. A little bit cliche, but I always, I'm a sucker for that type of stuff. But I like the idea of a good, I love a good revenge story, man. And everything they've shown of this game so far seems like it's just going to be a straight up like raw revenge story, and it could be amazing, But how will it stack up? How will it compare? Will I walk away being like, holy shit, Atsu is like one of my favorite characters now, or that story was like, top tier? We'll find out. We will find out. We're very close, but the gameplay's looking fun, man. I can't wait. I can't wait to see how it feels to use the different weapons, because the Odachi looks pretty damn brutal, man. Really messing people up. But yeah, they haven't shown it running on the Pro yet. I don't think. Oh, by the way, they did say, it's worth noting, just me and my 20 cents, it's worth noting, Sucker Punch did say in an interview last month, or the month prior, actually, I think it was in July, they confirmed that they're going to let us know all of the PS5 Pro enhancements. Like, that's going to be something they talk about. So I'm thinking we're going to hear about that this month. I'm thinking we're going to see that really soon. I think they're just holding on to it for now. Because I just remembered that they did confirm that in a interview not that long ago. All right, let me head back to the chat here. Your biggest concern is you wish that they had more graphical settings and make HDR and visuals and everything different settings, because Ghost of Tsushima didn't have that. It had very little. Yeah, it would be nice to have different settings. We'll see though. We'll see. I'm sure that they have more they're gonna let us know about before the game comes out. We still have about a month. Oh God, just please let it be amazing. When's the next Sony State of Play? Apparently, it's happening at the end of September. There's an event coming, and we will probably see Wolverine. From the trailers that they've shown so far, Sucker Punch seems to intentionally be leaving out the story, characters, and open world activities out of the marketing cycle. I will say, there's something going on with this game. That I don't know what it is. And I'm not saying it's bad. I don't know what it is. But there is definitely something going on where Sony is being very, or Sucker Punch, I don't know if it's Sony or Sucker Punch, but whoever's in charge of the marketing is being very, very particular about how they market this game and the beats. And I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, rather than just going in and being like, this is a guarantee that it's going to be as good or better than Tsushima, I am noticing that they're being very careful about how much of the story that they reveal. And I could be wrong, but I feel like by the time we were about to go into Ghost of Tsushima, like, they were all over the story of this game. Like, I remember that they even showed off, I think it was at uh God, what was it? Was it like Tokyo Game Show 2024 or the Game Award? I think it was the Game Awards 2024 or something, or not 2024, 2024. The Game Awards 2019. They had like a whole cinematic, like a whole ass cinematic for Ghost of Tsushima, where Jin had like that yellowish look to it, where he was like battling a couple of enemies, and then there was like a big ass cutscene or something, and they made like a really big deal out of it. They're doing something different this time with the marketing, and I think, like, let's just face it, guys. I think that the marketing team for this game is aware of some of the backlash it's getting because of the lead actress. And I think basically what we're seeing is them adjusting accordingly for that. But it does make me wonder, like, from a story perspective, the only thing that they've really shown us is it's a revenge story. You're playing as this character whose family was killed. Now you're going after the people who killed them. And that's it. That's like all that they've revealed. And that, yeah, there will be some flashback sequences as well. Maybe it is one of these things where it's like, we really can't show you more. Like, if we show you more, it's going to spoil things. It could be that. But I can just identify that in terms of the way that they're marketing the story and marketing this game, it's different. It's different from the way that they marketed Tsushima. Another Last of Us 2. I don't think that. I don't think it's that. I mean, I have seen some people speculate that they might try to, like, there might be some kind of bait and switch or something. I'm like, I don't think so, and I have no idea how that would even be achieved with this game. Like, psych, it's actually not 300 years. I don't know. Like, you're time traveling. I don't know. Just something like totally out of left field. You're saying the woman who's in the game, you saw her in a video talking and she seems like a nice person. Well, the internet, a lot of people have a problem with, what's her name? Erica Ishii? I don't know if that's her name or not. A lot of people have a problem with her because on her Twitter account, she is a political activist, and people, I mean, let's face it, like, if you're a public facing figure and you're a political activist, people will, there's a lot of people who are not going to like that. They're not going to like that you're doing that. They're just not going to like you. So yeah, I see Mrs. MBG's asking, did Boss get kicked out? So you're going to have to keep an eye on him. I don't know what's going on. He's acting a little strange. I think he's having severe anxiety. I think Luna is like freaking him out. I'm not sure. He was kind of behaving weird under me, and he was like licking the cat tower and just being really like on edge and hissing everywhere. And then he started dry heaving, like he was going to vomit. And so I gave him just a couple, like, thinking maybe he just needs to calm down. I just gave him a couple treats in the living room. So just keep an eye on him. Hopefully there aren't Fox shrines. Jerry, you're saying it's because the political activists, they should stay away from gaming. I mean, I understand that. And generally speaking, I agree in terms of, I think people who are writing stories for video games and creating characters. Hello? Yeah, well, that's the thing. I agree with Caliphist here, where it's like, the only time I think somebody being a political activist becomes a problem for me is if it's clear that you're shoving, like, you're trying to be a political activist in your product, in the game, in the medium, you know? Um, that's the thing that I keep trying to tell people, where I'm not trying to be overly defensive of Ghost of Yotei, but I'm just trying to explain to people that, listen, the actress who's playing this role doesn't determine the lines she speaks, and the story, and the characters, and the writing, or she's an actress. She's performing a role, you know? Um, but because she is a political activist on her social media and a public facing figure in that way, people assume that, well, that means this story in this game is going to be like completely woke, or it's just going to be one giant political message. And it's like, you good, boss? All right. All right, boss. That's fine. Just chill. Like, I'm trying to talk seriously, and I feel like I can't do it. My cat's just like sitting here, or just like standing on me. Like, bro. Okay. Anyway. So yeah, I'm just trying to like inform people. I'm just trying to inform people that, like, there are many people involved in the creation of the products that you support, whether that be in media or outside of media, just products in general, that you don't, they are political activists. They certainly have their, they have their beliefs, and they may be extremely passionate about them and vocal, but you don't know, because their job is to make a product. Their job is to, like, they're just doing their job. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the question that people have, and this is the concern, is if you look at the writing team of Ghost of Yotei, there are a couple of writers on the team that apparently were years ago working on Dragon Age: The Veilguard, and we saw what happened with Dragon Age, and people are very nervous about that. They're like, "Damn, dude, should we be worried?" Now, when I looked into this, my understanding is that these are writers who were involved with this, with Dragon Age years ago, and chances are, most of what they did probably didn't even make it to the final game. But yeah, I mean, they do, it's there. There's like two writers involved with Ghost of Yotei where, like, on their, on their job history and whatever, it says, yeah, they worked on Dragon Age. And so it's like, yeah, Dragon Age was kind of wrecked for how shitty the writing was and how bad the story was. And I'm not going to fault anybody for seeing that and being like, well, that makes me nervous. It's like, all right, well, but let's see. Like, we don't know the extent that these two writers, we don't know the extent that, of the impact they had on that game, considering they left years ago and they've been working at Sucker Punch for a while now. We don't know. So, I'm going into Ghost of Yotei optimistically. I am having good faith about it because, like I've said before, and I will say again, Sucker Punch hasn't given me a reason to doubt them. And that's what disappoints me the most in seeing people being completely shitty towards Ghost of Yotei, where it's like, when has Sucker Punch made a bad game? When has Sucker Punch disappointed you and let you down? I'm not saying that means they can't, but I'm just saying, where is the whole, like, my hype is 1 out of 10. Who gives a shit about this game? Where does that come from? And I'm telling you, it comes from the fact that it's the two things I just pointed out. It's, you have an actress that is a political activist on her own outside of her work, and Sucker Punch, and people are like, well, Sucker Punch is okay hiring her. I'm like, well, probably, yeah. Like, they're like, are you going to do the job or not? You're going to do a good job. That's all that matters. Like they're probably just focused on her merit, you know, like can she do the job? And the other thing is the writers that were apparently had some hand in Dragon Age Veilguard to an extent. And you know, to me, I think it's fine if people identify those things and they say I'm going to pass on it. I think it's not fine when you assume it's going to be shit because of it. To me, that's what I don't agree with. Where it's like, but why don't you just look at what they're showing you? Why don't you just look at what they're showing you? And Gaming Survivor, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. That goes beyond politics, man. But yeah, I don't agree with people who, you know, they like, it's just weird, man. I don't know what happened. I think people are fickle, and I think people just, I'll be honest, I think people kind of bullshit a lot. Like, truthfully, I think they really bullshit a lot, where it's like, suddenly it's like, man, Ghost of Tsushima was awesome. The gameplay was awesome. The combat was awesome. Everything about it was awesome. Now suddenly it's like, nah, this looks boring and underwhelming, and I don't think I want this. And yeah, this just looks weak. It's like, like, what happened? Like, I'm not saying people can't change. I'm not saying that your taste can't change, but it's like, how do you go from like, this is some of the best shit ever, to like, this is garbage, or this is just flat out bad? It's like, I don't understand what happened. I don't know. Nate and Jason literally said they had Japanese and Ainu culture experts reviewing the scripts for the game, so I don't expect it not to be authentic to a ghost story. Well, I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, I'm just curious to see if any aspect of this game is what people claim it is. I'm curious. Like, I'm very curious. This is a unique situation. I don't think I've seen this with PlayStation yet. This isn't a Last of Us 2 situation. This isn't a Concord situation. This is unique in the sense that, like, it's going to turn out one of two ways. It's either going to be like the people who were out here warning you that this is going to be some kind of woke slop, DEI infested, you know, like it took over Sucker Punch, and it's going to be cringe all over the place and ridiculous, and you know, this character is going to be insufferable, and a Mary Sue and all this shit. It's like, it's either going to be that, or those people are going to be dead fucking wrong. Where it's like, it's actually none of those things. And you chose to assume, you chose to judge a game before it even came out based off of like one person's political ideology that has nothing to do with the game. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be one of these two things, and I'm not trying to call it either way because I haven't played the game. But I'm trying to find a reasonable stance where it's like, well, Sucker Punch has produced great games. I've enjoyed every Sucker Punch game I played. They're a talented team. I loved Ghost of Tsushima. Everything I've seen, and that's the most important thing, everything they've shown me of this game looks good. And like, I'm really going to thoroughly enjoy it. And the only question I have is, will I enjoy it as much as Tsushima? You know, I'm just trying to also keep in mind that there are these things that people have yelled at me and that are constantly pushing on the internet, where it's like, look at the actress who's playing Atsu and what she said on Twitter. You know, look at these two writers at Sucker Punch who had a hand in Dragon Age Veilguard. It's like, okay, I'm taking note of that, and I'll determine for myself if that has anything to do with the final product in some negative way. And that's what I'm trying to do. And we have New Soul 9 here with the super chat, and he says, MBG, a perfect example I always use is the X-Men comic books. It's heavily political, but they do it so flawlessly. Yeah, dude, the best is when I saw people freaking out. You know what? That was a close one. I almost just spoiled something for Wolverine. Never mind. I just realized that that's actually not like public knowledge. There was all I'm gonna say is that there was an aspect regarding the Wolverine leaks that came out in 2023 from a story perspective. I'm not telling you what it is, but there was something in there that I saw people freaking out about, and I'm like, you don't know anything about, like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like you know what I mean? It's like you literally you don't know what you're talking about. But that's cool. Just keep screaming and spazzing out and tantruming on the floor, you know? That's cool. We'll talk about it when we get there, because I'm sure, dude, I am sure that if they didn't change that and it's still in the game, you're gonna see people losing their minds over it, and they're gonna look so fucking stupid, dude. And that's why I try to tell people, like, you gotta just, you know, don't jump the gun. Don't jump the gun. All right. You think Ghost 2 is going to be amazing? Day one buy for me. Don't need anyone else to agree with me or to be as hyped. Yeah, well, see, that low key, I agree with you in that, like, I'm just excited for Ghost of Yotei. Like, it looks like it's going to be a very good game. Like, I think it's going to be a game that unless there's some kind of fatal flaw that awaits, I'm not anticipating it. I'm expecting it to be one of the best games I play all year. You know, I don't know if it will surpass Death Stranding 2 for me personally. That'll be a tough. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could easily be in like my top 3, top 5. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. The market matters, not Twitter. Exactly. Exactly, man. Let me get rid of some of the stuff here. Guys, like I said, I am going to be doing a members lounge after today's stream. So just a reminder, if you want to become a member or drop any member gifts, Paul Ganell dropped one earlier, but you give more people access to that members lounge, those different discussions and the member gameplay we do. So I'm just throwing that out here so everybody who is a member is aware we're going to be doing that after this, but, you know, in case that sounds like something you're interested in. Anti-touch grass media. Anti-touch grass, dude. Hanzo, you just have a way with words, man. All right. Let's see here. So I mentioned in my title, by the way, Saros gameplay is coming. This feeds, so all of the topics that I listed here today all feed into one another, where Saros gameplay is coming, literally before the end of the year. And so there is a event that Sony's going to be doing at the end of this month. And I guess the question I'm going to ask you guys is, what do you think the chances are that by the end of this month, we would have seen Saros gameplay revealed by Housemarque? And what are your expectations for that gameplay reveal? My developer friend says that most teams are tired of the vanilla PS5. 26, 27, 28 there will be a very heavy focus on the Pro. According to him, interesting. I could see that. Sony's hyping up their big FSR 4 update for the PS5 Pro next year. Irfan, you're saying 50-50. Insider Gaming didn't mention it. That's true. Yeah, they didn't explicitly say that it will be there, but I've seen some people saying that they think Saros might get its own like dedicated state of play before the end of the year. I mean, I could see that. That would be a little bit of a surprise, wouldn't it? Like, considering it's a 2026 game, unless it's coming out in like January or something, or February, which it definitely could. If it could, this game could be pretty much done for all we know. I don't know that I'm expecting a random like October, November, December state of play. Like, I just get this feeling that if they're going to do an event in September, that would be the time to show it, you know? Ghost of Yotei is just 4 weeks away. Oh yeah, the pre-orders for the Ghost of Yotei stuff is out. Now, let me go. So they link it here. Let me see what's available on PlayStation Direct. They have the actual console bundles for $600. The DualSense is $85. Fuck, man, that DualSense looks kind of cool though. Not gonna lie, looks kind of cool. The PS5 Pro plates are unavailable, so they're already sold out. And then for $3,000, they have a guitar. Bro, I'm not even kidding. What is this? For $3,000, Taylor 314 CE The Last of Us Part 2 replica guitar. $3,000. Okay. Damn, bro. It's just randomly sitting there next to the Ghost of Yotei stuff. It's handmade inlays, MBG. You would get they have a black version for the the reason I don't know, I'm like tempted to get the Ghost of Yotei controller, but the thing about it is I have so many dual senses already, you know? Like I have so many already. Dude, the Death Stranding controller is still available, by the way. Apparently. What? What other controllers are available? Is the Last of Us one available? No, the Last of Us one's not available. The Helldivers one, not available. No way the PlayStation 30th is available. Nope. So apparently you can still get the Death Stranding controller. What about the Spider-Man one? There's no way that's available. No. Why do they even have them up then for you to click on if they're not available? But yeah, that stuff's available to pre-order today. I see Xbox gamers trending on Twitter. Why is that trending? Wait, hold on. Did I miss something? I don't. Okay. Hold on. Oh, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Just wait for the Wolverine controller. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, dude. I have so many dual senses, and I'm tempted to get that Ghost of Yotei dual sense, but I think at this point, the only other dual sense I really would get is the Wolverine one. Maybe a Saros one would be interesting because we didn't get anything for Eternal, but Wolverine would be cool. Irfan, you're saying enlighten us. Not at the moment. It's no, it's not something I'm going to cover at the moment. Maybe I'll save it for tomorrow. I mean, to be honest, we did kind of cover it twice already, but people are, you know, people are getting all crazy about it. You already know, Irfan. You already know how it is out here, bro. let me get on out of here. You think I should just get it? Yeah, I did not get the LeBron James controller, dude. No, I did not like that one. Saying names are going back to normal. Hanzo, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? The display names on YouTube? Everyone's like, bro, it's a jungle out there, man. It is. It is a jungle. No, actually, the Astro DualSense wasn't even listed on there. I don't think. Yeah, that's so weird. They have the Spider-Man, the 30th anniversary, Helldivers, and The Last of Us, and Death Stranding, but they don't have the Astro one. But they do apparently have a second. They have a second Astro game, or not game. Well, I mean, a second game is probably in development, but dude, you know what DualSense actually looks pretty sick? I kind of like the look of it. Is the Cobalt Blue. That DualSense looks pretty cool. I like that. That's sharp, as my grandmother would say. You have that one? How is it, Isley? Is it as nice as it looks in the marketing image here? You bought 4 DualSenses on the day the PS5 came out? Same here. I went crazy, dude. I bought everything. The day the PS5 came out. I still have the PlayStation camera, dude. Lost Isley says it's better. Hanzo, that's the one you use as well? No, Carl. I didn't see anything about that. Where? Sorry, guys. Hold on. I'm trying to find a. Why can't I find the? Okay, got it. All right. All right. So here's what we'll do, guys. We are in about like 15 or so minutes. I think we'll wrap up the stream. I'm going to keep it on the shorter side today, so we can, spend a decent amount of time in the members lounge. Yeah, hit the like button. But I want to make this, we'll do, I don't want to say like a last call because we still have like a whole 15 minutes. We are going to be doing a members launch, Tarnished. We're going to be moving over to that. But yeah, if you guys want to drop any memberships, now is the time to do it as we're getting closer to wrapping up. Again, give more people access to the members lounge, grow the member community, support the channel. Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep it on the shorter side today because I just wanted to focus today on talking about the Wolverine leak and the state of play. Pushing Polygons, we will be doing a members lounge. Don't worry. I think today's members lounge is going to be more gaming oriented. So if you're looking for an extended discussion on anything gaming related, today's members lounge I think is going to be for you. The last members lounge was a little bit all over the place. I'm sorry, Irfan. I'm sorry, bro. I wish we could do something about that, man. It sucks. Yeah, I don't know if YouTube will ever get around to that. And Lost Isley comes in. Lost Isley comes in out of nowhere, listening to what I was saying, and dropped 10 membership gifts for you guys. Lost Isley says, listen, we're going to be heading over to the members lounge. So let's get some more members gifted. I'm going to add that to the count. That actually brings us up to 11. So there's a chance before we wrap this stream up, we could end up hitting at least 25. I don't think we have to hit 50. 50 is just for the reps, you know. But Lost Isley, thank you so much for that. Go Gaming got one. That's a shame. That's unfair. How come Irfan can't get a membership, but Go Gaming can? Come on, bro. YouTube, what's going on? Yeah, I think Irfan can't get one due to region limitations or something with YouTube. MBG, do you want to put money on the next Sony event? Novinzer, did we do this before? I feel like there was somebody, who was it? Like, there was somebody where we made like a bet or something. I don't think it was you, Novinzer, was it? I can't remember. It's all a blur to me. And Metal Gear Ray comes in, bro. Metal Gear Ray comes in, says, we're going to keep the member train rolling. We got to get more people in the members lounge. Metal Gear Ray dropping another 5-bomb on you guys. And Isley, by the way, let me know what soundbite you want. Ray, Isley, dropping member gifts. Let me know what soundbites you want me to play for you guys. That brings us up to 16. So let's see if we can keep it going. Remember, you can always drop single member gifts. Sometimes we get a single train going. Ray says whatever one. Well, because we're calling you Metal Gear Ray.
But that was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
You want Cerny, most powerful.
Simply put, it's the most powerful console we've ever built.
Never go wrong with the Cerny. Boss is over here. He hears me. He's like, I know you gave me some treats earlier, but can I have some more, bro? Well, we'll see. We are 9 away from hitting the main goal of 25. We'll keep pushing. We'll see if we can make it happen. We'll see if we can make it happen before our time's up here. Mark Cerny, the most powerful man to ever grace this earth. Hanzo the theme, Reza. What's up, boss? You good now, dude? I think he's good now. He was having an episode. Chris says, Chris, you might want to double check your account, man, and make sure your account isn't like branded, because I know branded accounts can't get member gifts. Chris White's been trying to get one. Can we get Chris a gift? Can we make that happen? And Perfect Image says, hit the like button. I don't think with that limitation I can ever become a mod, right? No, not necessarily, Irfan. To be honest, like, modship isn't really needed in members content. But yeah, Irfan, I'll add you as a moderator, man. Because no joke, like, you're here like 99% of the time. It's the least I could do for you, bro. I would somehow let you into the members content if it let me do that. But yeah, there you go, bro. No joke. You are always the first person here when the stream goes live. Like, I mean, literally an hour before I even go on camera. You're always in chat like, what's up, man? So mod responsibly, though, Irfan. That's the thing. Just mod responsibly. I think all the mods here have a pretty good idea. You know, just to kind of be clear, no hate speech. You know, you see anybody with hate speech, YouTube usually takes care of that. That doesn't usually make it through. trolls, you know, people who are obviously trolling. Sometimes there are people who are not so obviously trolling, but are trying to cause, like, low-key trying to cause chaos. We got to keep an eye on that stuff. Although we have people who are, you know, good here, but also tend to cause chaos. You're welcome, Irfan. Yeah, I appreciate you being a loyal viewer and always helping. And another thing that you're good with, Irfan, too, is anytime there's something that comes out, you're like the first one in the chat, like, you're on it. So I appreciate it, man. He's gonna be the next. Oh man. Oh, so yeah, we're probably, hopefully, going to be getting a Discord relatively soon. That's my hope. I was talking to Mrs. MEG about it, and you know, my mods will obviously be there. And Hellbound 1981 comes in, the legend. He comes in. He says we are keeping the member train going. And he drops another 5 memberships, bringing us up to 21. And just like that, guys, just like that, we are 4 away from hitting the first goal of 25. I've been keeping 50 up there because it's just been easier, so I don't have to keep updating it, but I'll probably go back to switching it back to 25. So I think we can do it. We're going to be going for another 5 or 10 minutes here. And, yeah, so Isley came in and dropped 10. Ray dropped 5. Hellbound dropped 5. I think you guys are going to want to tune in to this members lounge I'll be doing. I could be wrong. Can't guarantee it, but I think you'll want to. I think it'll be a good one. Let's see. So yeah, we're going to see if we can get a Discord sometime soon. And obviously, you know, the mods that I have here, I'll, you know, carry over to the Discord. Boss looks sad. I think Boss is a bit anxiety today. Hellbound. I don't know when you got here, but he was like, Luna was messing around with him earlier, and he seemed like he was getting very upset. And he started like dry heaving. Like he seemed like he was going to like throw up. So, which is unusual for him. He doesn't usually get hairballs or anything. And he just seemed like he was really on edge. And like, he was actually on edge this morning too. I mean, I don't know if it was Luna. Something's got Boss on edge. He just seemed stressed. And I don't know why. He ate too much at breakfast, you think? Stray 2? Mod squad for the Discord. Yeah, so just keep an eye out on that. Like, I said I would just, like, drop it when it's ready. So, I don't know when it'll be. Could be a couple days from now. Could be a couple weeks from now. But, and I think I'm going to make that a membership perk as well. If you are gifted a membership, gain access to the Discord. People have been asking for this for a long time. And I personally don't like Discord, so like I can't promise whenever the Discord, if it does happen, I can't promise I'll be in there like ever or often. Maybe I'll try, but I don't really like Discord that much. But I know a lot of people love Discord, and a lot of the community here, they want to, you know, they want to have another place to be able to talk to one another and hang out. And Hellbound comes in and drops another single gift for you guys. Hellbound, he's trying, dude. He's trying in the name of Boss. He's trying to get you guys to start a single train. Hellbound's trying. He's doing it in the name of Boss. So, Hellbound. That's Boss every time he gets treats. I think we can do it, guy. We need 3 more, and we can give Boss some of his treats. Hellbound feels bad. He's like, boss looks kind of sad. I helped Mrs. MBG last night with her Hello Kitty game, by the way. She was playing that Hello Kitty game, Hello Kitty Island or something like that. And she got stuck on a puzzle. I got stuck too. And Shadow Gamer 24 comes in out of nowhere. You could say he came out of the shadows. He came out of the shadows, guys, to drop 5 more member gifts for you guys. Shadow Gamer 24, thank you so much for that, buddy. With that 5 bomb, that brings us to 27. We can give boss some treats now.
Boss, do you read me? It's time to feed the beast.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. And yeah, we'll just see if we can keep it going before we wrap up here. Shadow Gamer dropped another 5 for you guys. We don't have to get to 50, but, you know, the more, the merrier, right? We're going to be heading over to a members lounge very soon. Here you go, boss. Oh, it smells like shit, dude. Oh, my God. I'm glad that these treats are so much healthier for him, but, man, they smell. I do not like it. Keep that bag nice and closed. Ryan Isaac says, thanks for the gifted sub. Show the Wolverine trailer. Well, the trailer didn't literally leak, as in, like, it's out there and watchable. Not like that. And even if it did, I probably wouldn't have been able to show it. I'm willing to make a template for Discord, so all you got to do is copy and paste the code when you create the server, and it's all set up. Simplifies it for you. Okay, Ghetto God. I'll keep that in mind. I don't know. I guess maybe you could, like, email that to me or something. The email to my channel is in the About section of my channel, by the way. Ghetto God. What exactly is Discord? It's basically just like chat rooms. Essentially it. It's like a chat, like right now, kind of. But it has a lot more features and stuff, and you can make different I don't know. The thing I don't like, there's so much there on Discord. It's like, oh, it's always overwhelming me. I'm like, there's like 50 settings. I'm what? But yeah, it is. It's more chaos. It's got a lot going on. But because of that, once you figure it out, you have more options and more at your disposal. Eddie XP says the most friendly and intuitive app for a mic, basically. There you go. Conservative Juggalo podcast says Discord is a platform that lets people talk without typing. I've never used one. That's my understanding. Well, no, Discord is like you can pretty much communicate in any way. You can. The only thing I don't know on Discord, because I haven't used it that much, is I don't know if you can do video. No, you can do video. Yeah, you can pretty much do anything. You can communicate in like any way, basically. You could have a call-in Discord. Whoa, let's calm down now, Ray. Let's calm down now. Just one step, baby steps, one step at a time. You can also share your screen on Discord. I thought you were doing the YouTube community for that, or is that not working? I'm trying to, but it's so... If Discord is like overwhelming because it has so many options and so much you can do, YouTube's community section is underwhelming because it's so bland and like it's like too simple. It's like too simple, Lux with the super chat says tips and donations free up to 25K for content creators. Oh. That's interesting. Perfect Image wants to know if he can be an admin for the Discord. Yeah, Tarnished, I agree with that. It doesn't feel like, it feels like they got to do more with it. I'm sure they're going to do more with it, but I tried to do a Discord before, and I got overwhelmed with it, and I'm like, I'm shutting this down. I don't want to do this. But I don't know. I feel better about going into it this time, a little bit anyway. And Luck says Discord is the best. You are sleeping on it. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, man. It's been so many months and practically years at this point of people being like, you gotta do it, man. Like you gotta get on it. That's true too. Yeah, there was a lot going on in Jet. Well, there's a lot going on now, but at that time there was even more going on. So, I'm feeling more optimistic about it this time. Hanzo says I can't even handle this chat. Can anyone buy Silk Song yet? Yeah, what's going on there? I heard it like was shutting down or like breaking the storefronts. Did they fix that? You good, man? Okay. So if you make less than 25K on YouTube, you don't pay taxes? I think that's what he's saying. I have a question about that though. Like 25K, I don't. Check it up. Content creators now get all donations and tips tax free up to 25K. Let me see. Let's see. I'm trying to find how to. Wait, hold on. Is that? Oh, shit. My bad. Yeah. That's super interesting. Let me see where you said you came across it for Reddit live stream fails. Content creators, YouTube streamers, etc. No, I don't know why for some reason I was thinking like the way I was reading what you were saying, I was like, just Discord. Like that doesn't make any sense. Content creators, YouTube streamers, etc. no longer have to pay taxes or tips on donations from viewers for up to 25K in tip earnings. So this was posted 34 minutes ago. Breaking news for creators. The Treasury Department added digital content creators to the list of jobs that qualify for the new no tax on tips deduction. Well, goddamn, that's huge. Yeah, that's big. That's going to be big for a lot of people. Good stuff. Boss is very happy. Hellbound. You can rest easy now. Boss is very happy. His anxiety is gone now, clearly. Yeah, definitely a good thing for smaller creators, absolutely. Yeah, so guys, we'll let me see. All right, we'll go for about 5 more minutes. We'll go to like 2:15. So 5 more minutes, last call. We're going to in 5 minutes we're going to head over to the members lounge. We're going to extend the conversation over there. So, I hope to see you guys there. And drop any more funding whatsoever, now would be the time to do it. Well, to be clear, and I should probably let people know about this, they let you super chat in the members lounge. You just can't do member gifts in the members lounge, which I guess makes sense. But Okay, and you're welcome, Irfan. Is Konami a good company now? They're getting better. Tarnish, you're excited for the members lounge? Hanzo, you're heading out, man. All right, dude. Thanks for tuning in. Oh yeah, well that's what we're waiting for next. I think Konami's going to announce that probably next year, the Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 2. That's my suspicion anyway. Take care, Hanzo. I'm going to play Silent Hill F at some point. I don't know if I'm going to be there at launch. I might. I may or may not. We'll have to see. I got to see where I'm at that point. Right now, I'm playing Metal Gear, and I'm trying to I'm playing Metal Gear. Skate is releasing in like a week and a half. So I'm definitely going to play that. I'm actually really excited to play Skate. So it seems like for the next week or two, the two main games I'm going to be playing are Metal Gear and Skate. Will I be able to throw a third one in there? I don't know. But all right, guys. 534,000 people are playing Silksong right now on Steam. Oh my god, dude. That is nuts. Holy shit, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy. We're going to talk about that, Lux. We're going to talk about that in the members lounge, actually. But I see you're not a member. Uh-oh. Guys, we need to get Lux a membership. Obviously, I want to encourage people to, renew their memberships, but we got to get Lux a membership. Hold on. Oh, dude, I forgot about that. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance. They had the skate game mode, the skateboarding game mode. That was awesome. You know what was funny about that is it was actually really well made. That was the craziest part about that bonus skateboarding game mode with Metal Gear Solid 2. It was really well made. Like, it felt good to play. Yuffie's VA, is in Silent Hill F. I feel like I read that somewhere. Like, this isn't the first time I'm hearing it. Sally, you have it downloaded already on Game Pass? What, Silksong? Yeah, people were shocked to see that it was only going to be $20. So I'm sure it's making really good sales. We're still supposed to get Skate Story on PS5 this year. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that one. That's a pretty unique looking game. But all right, guys. We are going to head over to the members lounge now. And as I say that, Lux decides to renew his membership. Lux, thank you so much for that, buddy. He's like, I gotta get in that members lounge, bro. I can't miss this one. Thank you for that, Lux. I really appreciate it. And with that membership renewal, it brings us up to 28. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for all the support. All of you guys who dropped memberships. Like, we went from sitting at one membership for pretty much the whole stream, and then you guys came in and we got all the way up to 28. So thank you so much for that. I'm going to be trying to do my best to produce more members content for you guys, whether that be members lounges, gameplay. We might even be returning at some point in the not too distant future with Morning with the Misses and stuff like that, depending on how things go. So I'm going to be putting my best foot forward with that. And Lost Isley comes in and drops another member gift on you guys. All right, good luck. Lost Isley says, hold on. We gotta get one more in here. We gotta get a couple more in here before we head over. So that brings us to 29. And Lost Isley sets you guys up for the opportunity to drop one more gift if you want to round it off at 30. But I want to ask you guys, even if you are coming to the Members Lounge, or if you're not, make sure you hit that like button on your way out. We're almost at 150 likes. It's definitely been helping. We've been getting some new people in here. We've been getting some new viewers and some new people joining the community here, and even new people becoming members and stuff. So you guys hitting the like button, I'm just letting you know, keep it up. It's working. It's helping. I also want to thank everybody who dropped any super chats, direct donations, all that stuff. You know, all of it contributes to the channel and allows me to do what I do here. We keep it sponsorship free because I'm able to keep it sponsorship free. I prefer it that way. I think you guys prefer it that way. And Lost Isley does it. Lost Isley comes in and says, I'm going to get us to 30. They say, I got it. Lost Isley, are you a he or a she? I don't want to assume your pronouns. Like, I want to call you a she because I see you have a woman in your profile picture, but I don't know, dude. She dude. There you go. Lost Isley. Thank you so much. All right. And just like that, we went from 1 to 30. Unless I just put Isley on the spot. Like, you don't have to answer that, by the way. I don't know. You don't have to answer that. I just, I have my natural tendencies here. But let's see. I want to make sure I didn't miss. So I think we have a good thing going with the direct donations using the voice, the speech to text, or the text to speech. I mean, that seems to be working because it ensures I don't miss anything. But guys, we are going to head over to the Members Lounge now. We're going to continue our conversation over there. A Tom girl, 3 brothers. Okay. All right. And get this out of here. All right, guys. We're going to do a Members Lounge. All of my members, I hope you tune in over there. We're going to be continuing the conversation, talk about some other stuff. I think, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm getting like these weird notifications popping up on my. Okay. That's stupid. Sorry. If you're a member, head over to the Members Lounge. If you're not a member, consider becoming one and join us over there. If not, though, we should be back here tomorrow. That's my intention. I hope to be back here tomorrow. So, make sure you have your notifications turned on. But before we go, Corey, the legend Landiga, he's like, hold on. Dude, this is going to be like the longest outro ever. He drops 5 more member gifts for you guys. It says, we are not done here, boy. We are not done. He says it's for the boss. Boss is sleeping happily right now. He did get his treats. But, like I said, keep dropping the memberships, guys, so I can keep buying Boss's healthier treats. They're like the premium ones, but, he needs the protein. He's nice and full now, though. Corey, thank you so much for that. And I was just telling everybody, Corey, that we're going to be heading over to a Members Lounge, and we're going to be extending this conversation over there. So if you want to come over there and hang out with us. But let me add that to the goal. We hit 35. Now I'm like, should I wait another minute or two? I don't know. I never know when people are going to drop member gifts. It's hard to anticipate. It's hard to predict. But I think we're good. Irfan, you're like, they don't want you to end it. Irfan's behind this, bro. He's like, I can't join you in the Members Lounge. I'm going to keep them dropping memberships. But yeah, thank you guys so much. That is going to do it, though. I'm going to get the Members Lounge set up. What did you miss? So I could at least do that before we wrap up because I am ending it a little bit earlier than normal. Basically, Corey, what you need to know, the gist of it, Insider Gaming's Tom Henderson said that a Wolverine trailer is done and ready to go, and there's going to be a PlayStation event at the end of this month, probably a state of play. The Wolverine trailer is seemingly going to show up at that state of play, and we also have other first-party stuff such as Saros, the 2.5D God of War game, Marathon, and a myriad of other things that we cover pretty much on a daily basis that could show up at this upcoming event. And I speculated earlier in the stream that it could be a showcase. Like, I'm thinking it might be a showcase. So, that's why the stream's a little bit shorter, because I basically just focused on one topic and just stretched it out. But it's the showcase hopium. I can't help myself. And yeah, I did put out a video as well covering it. So, when we're finished up with the streaming, if you want the rundown super quick, put a video out there. And I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah, we are overdue for a showcase. We need one. I'm telling you, I think this is the right time for Sony to do it. I don't know if they're going to, but they should. Novitzer's like, that's not happening at BG. Sorry. It's just not. I can't blame you. Just expect a state of play, All right. That does it. Guys, Members Lounge will be up in about 5 minutes, probably less than that, probably 2 minutes, realistically. And I will see you guys over there. If you're not a member, just have your notifications turned on. We'll be doing more streams soon. And yeah, so thank you all so much. Oh, and before I go, got to give a big shout out to Devil Shooter. Devil Shooter does the timestamps for the streams. He does an incredible job. If you guys see him in the comments with those timestamps, show him some love. Give him some thanks. I know he really appreciates it. And yeah, we appreciate what you do, Devil Shooter. And that's it. All right, Members Lounge coming up. I'll see you guys in just a couple minutes. All right, till then, take care, everyone. Waiting. Okay, all right, I think we're good. We're in the clear.